Hello everyone, Miss Carrie here from Miss Carrie's Creations. Today I'm going to share some unique ways to use your pattern paper. Today I'll be working with the October main kit from Hip Kit Club. I will also be using the cardstock kit, embellishment kit, and the background leaf stamp on my project today. I can't wait to share this with you. On my desk, I have the October main kit from Hip Kit Club. As you can see, the patterns in this kit are some beautiful fall patterns and prints. In this collection, you'll receive 11 Fall Vibes double-sided papers, gold glitter foam branches and leaf stickers, 2 sheets of cardstock stickers, puffy alpha stickers, vellum leaf cuts, cardstock ephemera, and this laser cut wreath with faux mixed media paper. Today, I'm going to be featuring the Grateful and Blessed pattern from the October kit. As my husband said, it's texture, pattern, and color all rolled into one. As I create this layout, I'll bring in a few additional items from the Fall Vibes kit, and I'll list those in the description below, along with a link to this Hip Kit collection. The Grateful and Blessed pattern has multiple colors that look like hand-drawn lines. I don't want this to overpower the page and take focus away from the photo, so I selected a picture with more of a monochromatic feel with orange hues and neutral tones. My plan is to pair the Grateful and Blessed pattern with the squares in the Nuts for Fall pattern and layer them onto this beautiful blue cardstock. I'm going to go off camera real quick and cut out all those pattern paper elements, then I'll show you how the page comes together. The squares in the Nuts for Fall pattern were cut out with scissors. These are not true squares, but more of a paint swish with wonky sides. With a ruler and craft knife, I cut the mini strips in the Grateful and Blessed pattern. Both the squares and the mini strips are about 1 inch wide. I'm going to lay out the pattern paper pieces so that I can see how much space I need for these. The Nuts for Fall pattern is much like a paint chip sample, going from dark to light. So that's how I'm going to lay them on my page. I'm going to group 3 little squares together, then place down one of the rectangles with the stripes. I did not alter these shapes at all, but if you wanted to, you could distress the edges, add a pen line or stitching, or stamp the squares using the stamp from the Pocket Life kit. Now, as I get to the end, there are going to be a few pieces missing. The photo is going to sit here, so I'm not going to worry about it. My photo is backed in Autumn Blue Dream, which is pairing beautifully with the orange in the pumpkins and her orange shirt. I'm also going to bring in a large tag that I cut out from the Prettiest Season pattern. This creates a larger separation between the photo and that background. I'm going to adhere all of those little squares in place, add some stitching, and then we'll continue on with the project. Here is that completed background. Isn't it adorable? To create some separation between the rows and add texture, I did add some stitching with my machine. I created 2 straight rows here at the top, some zigzags through the pattern shapes, and a zigzag below so that I had an odd number of pattern stitching. To finish off the background, I added 2 more rows across the center of the page. The floral tag behind the photo needed a solid matting, so I cut out a larger tag from Clementine cardstock. Blue, orange, and yellow are a great split complementary color palette that's perfect for fall. Even though I added that second tag layer, I still feel like I need another element to frame this and ground it a bit. So I think I'm going to do some stamping with that leaf background stamp. I'm going to heat emboss the leaves, so I need to brush the cardstock with anti-static powder. This will keep that white embossing powder from sticking where it doesn't need to go. I'm using clear embossing ink to stamp the design. Since I'll need to stamp this multiple times, I've opted to use a stamping platform. With a large stamp like this, I find it difficult to create a solid image. I also don't have a stamping block big enough for this, and my hand strength is not enough to create the solid image. Luckily, the stamping platform allows me to re-stamp if I don't get it right the first time. This heat embossing process is going to be done in stages. After stamping the image, I'm going to sprinkle the fine white powder over the top, remove the excess, and set that powder with a heat tool. As you can see, a few items were not stamped clearly, but that's not due to the stamp's quality. It was my oversight not seeing the parts of the leaves that I didn't get ink onto when I was using the platform. Now I'm going to stamp another image here on the right, and then I'll repeat that process of covering with powder and setting the design with the heat tool. Doesn't this look gorgeous with those heat embossed leaves peeking out from underneath the photo? It really makes this the focal point of the page. Alright, I'm going to bring in those cardstock die cuts, puffy stickers, and the cardstock stickers from the kit. I'm going to build the first cluster on the right with some trees and little pumpkins. These match those larger pumpkins I added on the left. Over the top, I'm adding a puffy sticker that says, "Hey there, pumpkin, pumpkin, pumpkin." To create a grounding point for the cluster, I added a leaf label sticker behind that phrase, then tucked a few small leaf stickers around it. The cluster on the right that I just created is vertical, so I want to create a horizontal cluster on the left. I'm starting with a sunflower puffy sticker, but for some reason I don't feel like it fits there. I'm going to try to bring in some of that yellow from the sunflower to the top of the photo with a tab. The sunflower cluster also has a teal colored set of leaves, so I'm going to add some teal leaves at the top near the tab. To match the small leaves I added at the top, I'm going to add some small leaves near the pumpkin. Adding light colors and shapes to all of your embellishment clusters is something that you can do to bring balance to your page. Speaking of this design technique, I just realized that the two clusters I've been working on have similar colors that are bright and bold, but the cluster on the right is mostly muted hues. This is probably why I felt like the puffy sunflower wasn't working. When I bring in a more muted bundle of flowers, the clusters are more balanced and the focus is back on the photo. Alright, now that most of the embellishments have been added, I want to work on the title for this page. The matte chipboard embellishment pack has a great collection of titles and fall pieces. I'm going to use the words beautiful and fall for my page. Although this chipboard is white, it's not a bright white, which is what I want it to be. So I'm covering this with a coat of acrylic paint. Before I started painting, I did add a layer of gesso over the top to create a barrier. Jill Broadbent did an amazing job showing the types of mediums that work with these chipboard elements and the prepping products she used. If you're interested, her video can be found in the Hip Kit Club group on Facebook. As I'm adding paint to the title, I would love it if you tap the subscribe button and let me know that you're new here. If you're already a subscriber, let me know that you're enjoying the project by tapping the thumbs up icon or leaving me a comment below. I would love to know what your favorite element is in the October Hip Kit. The title for this page is going to sit at the base. There are so many parts and pieces at the top of the page that I needed to add some weight here to balance that out. When I create my projects, I prefer to have most of the elements touching something else on the page. This helps create flow and connectivity throughout the layout. The word beautiful is layered over those white embossed leaves, and the dot for the eye fits perfectly here. You would think that I planned that. Around the photo, I have two clusters with leaves and pumpkins, so I'm going to bring in a few cardstock and puffy stickers with the same items. These are going to lay right here next to the word fall. This layout records a lovely memory of this sweet girl enjoying a day at the pumpkin farm. Most of the items I used to create the layout are from the October Hip Kit collection. If you would like to become a member of the Hip Kit Club, you can save 15% on any coordinating items, and these can ship free with the monthly kit. So if you want to grab yourself any additional items like the leaf background stamp or the embellishment kit, it's worth becoming a member. If you would like to learn more, I have added details to the description below. I want to thank you for joining me for another scrapbook project. If you would like to see more of my creations, you can visit my channel or follow Miss Carrie's Creations online. If you have any questions about the project or supplies listed below, feel free to leave me a comment. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I can't wait to see what you create.